trying to get. I hate puppies.
Good podcast.
I feel threatened.
No more bourbon.
Ha! That is accurate. That is accurate. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, the only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and helping you figure out what beer you should or should not be drinking. Notice, Stu, I said beer, not bourbon this week.
That's awesome.
Sounds like somebody who's scared.
We have crossed the final hurdle. No, dude, I have 18 bottles of bourbon that are all losers.
You're just getting started, really.
And then I have a bunch of other bottles of bourbon that I like. I actually did go inside this past weekend. I went and got myself a nice Angel's Envy. Something that didn't make the challenge, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Our ABC store sucks. Like, it's just none of them. I thought that was better than even the winner. I'm going to have to do that one night, just taste test for myself.
Yeah, see, now the nice thing is you've got kind of that baseline of the Four Roses you can use as just like your own personal metric, you know? Like,
It's funny, Lee and I were on the M4K bourbon giveaway last week, and everybody kept picking everything, and the Four Roses was literally the last thing. There was 2 bottles of Four Roses, and Lee and I were messaging each other like, these people don't get it. They don't know.
They don't listen.
sleeping on it.
Yeah.
Man.
That's how you know there's not listeners.
Yeah.
Listener would have been like,
Yeah.
first choice. Got it.
Done. So now that you have all these bottles, are you looking into liquor cabinets?
So what I have
He
done,
gave me a bottle last week. He's like, take this one, please.
Oh, that's right. I did
Yeah.
send you home with a bottle of bourbon.
Was
and
it
then,
Bowman Brothers, maybe?
which I used to like.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, it's not good enough.
Trash.
Not good enough. But yeah, unfortunately, inside the house there is just bourbon stacked on top of one of the pieces of furniture, and it's not a good look. To the point that I even walked in on Thanksgiving was like, hey, honey, should we like hide all of this? Because I was like, everyone's going to be in here eating, and that's not a great look.
This is how I get through Thanksgiving.
And yesterday, Sean was over here, one of the growers, and he had made a comment. He was like, false advertising, you said there'd be bourbon here. I was like, you want some bourbon? He was like, yeah, but you said there'd be bourbon. I don't see any bourbon. I opened up those 3 doors. He was like, holy crap, man. I was like, yeah, pick out whatever you want, man. It's all up for grabs. So I think after that, he was having fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was the bourbon guy. He was like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure is a lot of beer.
Yeah, he's more of a bourbon. He came over to my house Saturday night and got into that bottle of E.H. Taylor.
How was that?
It was very tasty.
Yeah, I believe it would be.
I'll bring you some.
Yeah, I'm good. Take a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in no rush.
Your liver's pickled enough as it is.
This has been a long few days. I mean, Wednesday night was the night before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
which of course that's go-to night.
Which was a mustache meetup night.
Mustache meetup night, which turned into someone I never expected to
Oh,
hang out
yeah,
with.
that's right.
Kind of crept out of the woodwork, and he came over here and
He was fired up.
fired up, and we ended up in one of those music battles.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
And it was back and forth, but like he's pretty deep in like the Tool world and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So like we were down like
Clutch.
a dark hole. Yeah, like if someone had walked through this door, we would have mauled them.
Yeah.
Like because we were out here just and like screaming.
raging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just screaming. I woke up the next day, my throat was all scratchy. I was like, "What I do?" Oh yeah, I screamed for 5 hours with him. Just
That's awesome.
we were having fun, but it made for a late Wednesday night, which led into Thursday, which obviously Thanksgiving. We all know how that goes. And then Friday, it's like, well, it's Friday. Then Saturday was
Saturday.
Saturday I had a bad day. So that,
Oh, you had your driving school Saturday, right?
yep,
How'd that go?
it was good. I got
Good?
a 100. I got a 100 on the test.
Good for
Nice.
you,
Good
man.
for you.
So
Really proud.
I never doubted you.
You're reformed now?
No more speeding.
I'll tell you what, man. When you pull out of driving school, like
Everything's new.
you do tend to like drive like you got a baby in the back and you're leaving a hospital. You're like, look both ways. Look both ways. All right. Slowly accelerate. Check for speed limits. Check your mirrors. And I'd be like, that mirror is not right. I have a blind spot. Like,
Well, you can maybe answer my question. Is yellow for only the people in the intersection?
What?
What do you mean?
For driving classes, they teach anything about that? Because my dad got a ticket because he was in the intersection when the light was
Yellow.
Like he said, well, no, I guess it turned.
Well, if it turned
I'm
red,
trying to think if you're
Turn red, he should have stopped.
yeah, that's 3 or 4 points. Can't
Yeah, but
remember
I'm
now.
saying that if you're
Already passed.
yellow's only for people in the intersection.
I don't know.
I think
that
in
is.
theory, yeah, you're probably.
I
But
think
you can't stop in time.
I think the police can write
The
that
lights are
ticket. It's kind of like a
subjective
referee's
if they want.
pass interference call. Like if
Yeah.
I see it as such, it's going to be as such.
I think that's probably a fair way to put it. But I also didn't, despite getting 100 on the test, I wouldn't say I learned a lot about driving. And I don't blame the class. I'm sure the course material would have been fantastic. That's not the class I got, unfortunately. I walked
It's like
in
anything.
there.
It's about the catalyst you're getting the info from. Like
Yeah,
that's
what's the instructor like,
yeah.
the setting. all
Yeah,
that.
but I
Yeah,
also
what's the
felt like
setting?
I
It's
was
the
in,
teacher. It's a teacher, not the material.
Yeah, but I was in a group project with it was like doing a group project with 6-year-olds,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like the senior. Like
Yeah, the rest of the class matters too in that situation.
in this situation, the class was different,
oh wow.
to say the least. Like I knew I
Have
was.
some characters in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
class is all looking at him, going, "Hey, lean over and look at the guy with the mustache. I bet he knows everything. We're gonna cheat off of him."
Oh, I had my mask
He's
on
the-
because
he's
it said masks were mandatory, so they didn't have to see my mustache.
Oh.
But then there's one guy in the back and clearly no mask, and also had never said no to a meal.
Nice.
This man was big, and he was in his
Mass slows that down.
sweatpants, sweatshirt, done up hair, just all tussled, like just a mess. And
He have some opinions?
I walk in,
And how?
and he's already talking, just sitting in the back, like I know
Chirping.
everything. I don't know why you nerds are here because I'm perfect. I drive 3,000 miles a week. I'm a truck driver.
Oh.
This is what I do. I'm on the road all the time, and I'm here voluntarily taking this class because that's how I roll. Come to find out, there's a lot more reasons that dumbass is in the class. That
You
guy,
think?
oh, it was unbelievable. But so he was just sitting there chattering. I walk in at 7:45 for an 8 a.m. start time, and he's already just chattering. And I'm thinking, okay, there's nothing wrong with a little pregame chatter. We all know though
Yeah.
that we need to get down to brass tacks because the whole reason you go to driving school in person is to shave that 8 hours as much as you can. 1 hour, that's good. 2 hours, that's better.
Real nice.
3 hours, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Don't come back after lunch. Thank you. I
Yeah.
don't mind.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's exactly
I
what
love
you're
it. Don't
looking
come
for.
back after lunch.
The last time I had driving school in person, the instructor was a Redskins fan. Was a Washington football
Don't you
team fan.
ever say that word.
And he was like,
Blatant racism at the top of this show.
It was,
doubt. How long did it? When was it?
Yeah. I'm going to have to cut
Bleep
that.
it out.
8 minutes in, I got a
uh,
beep.
yeah,
That guy was
dump,
a
dump.
fan.
Just put me on a 3-second delay.
Yeah, we need a dump,
Dump
button
button.
for Stu.
-1.
But the guy was a Washington fan, and he was like, and this was Sunday class. He's like, they're playing at 4. We're out of here in an hour. So it was
That's
like
a beautiful
4
thing.
hours of class. We got all 8 hours counted.
That's what I think. I think the vast majority of the class was thinking the same thing I was thinking. Let's go in person.
Knock it out.
Let's get through this. Like this, move on. And my man's just chattering. 8 o'clock comes. He still hasn't shut up. Just chattering.
People just rolling in, and he's just chirping the whole time.
We're all there, man. And she just keeps going. Now, she was like, let's give this another 5 minutes. We're missing one person. That person never showed up. So
That's
she's
a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah.
Let's see how that plays out.
Yeah. So then she pulls up the first slide, and it's like A to Z driving school. And that's all it says. That slide was up for 45 minutes because that jackass in the back
Oh, no.
never shut up. I'm looking down. It's 8:45, and that slide's still there. And I'm like, this can't be good for the speed of the class today.
You're like, I hope there's 5 slides in this
what the hell is
PowerPoint.
what's he talking about to the instructor?
you pick a topic. At that point, because I saw my first text. Actually, I saw my first text earlier to my wife, and I was like, it's 8:45. And we haven't gotten past the first slide, and we're currently talking about bears in people's yard.
Wow.
That's productive for everybody.
That
Yeah.
son of a bitch was talking about bears.
We all know when we're driving and we come across bears in people's yards. That's every other day occurrence?
It's certainly not something you bring up on slide 1. I bet there's probably a time when talking about
How
speed,
to avoid animals.
Yeah, speed and looking down the
Yeah,
road
yeah.
and surveying for things like animals in country roads. Because you know what's really important? Visibility, distance, speed. These are all very
Stopping
important
distances,
factors.
absolutely.
No, he's just talking about fucking bears. I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
And I'm offended. And I'm just like, this is killing me. And then like she gets to the next slide.
Did she, the instructor didn't squash this early and often?
She's engaging.
She's a 70-year-old bus driver from the country, and he's like, he could have been 40, he could have been 25. There's no
Don't
telling.
know, yeah.
Like I couldn't put my finger on it.
And she's right up.
But so she's just like
He's right up her
shattering
alley.
back. Yeah, because by the end of the class, she's like just talking over him and like trying to move slides, and he just won't stop. But that first like 4 hours, she was like, "This is great. They're so."
she's happy to
engaged."
have someone to.
Yeah, 'cause normally people were sitting
she's
there.
used to hitting the tennis ball into the blanket. She's glad to have a wall to bounce back off
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Every time, and my favorite thing, I would watch. So you'd get to a new slide, and every time a new bullet would come up, she'd read the bullet, and he'd tell a fucking story
Oh my god.
about said bullet. Oh, man, yeah, if you don't tighten those lug nuts, I'll tell you what, I was driving along one time. Boy, I felt it wobble, wobble, wobble. Now, I know what I'm doing, so I know what a wobble, wobble, wobble is. I'm assuming there's
Oh,
a tire
no.
coming off. So what do? I take my foot off the gas because you don't want to hit the brakes. You know that, lady. You know what I'm talking about, Donna.
Oh no.
So I take my foot off the brakes. I take my foot off the gas, and I slowly start to come down. And sure enough, wouldn't you know it, that tire does come flying right off. Rolls on. She gone. Oh, man. But, I was going the right speed, so, I just brought it over the side of the road, and that's how you do it, man. That's how it's done. Next thing.
Oh
Boom.
no.
Air pressure. Oh, my God. I'll tell you what, man. If you don't have that air pressure right, not only are you going to wear them tires bad, which you don't want to do. You all should be rotating every single time you get an oil change. I know it says you can do it less often than that, but what's the point, man? You already got your car going in there. They're going to put it up on something anyway. You guys know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to
Oh no.
get them tires rotated while you're there every fucking time. And I'm like, this is so not good for the curb.
How'd your head not explode?
Oh, there were times where I was like, shut. Oh,
Just every
Yeah.
blood
So
vessel in your
did
face.
you have any? Did you have any time where there was a break in the class or a lunch break, and other people were in the same mindset as you? Like, this guy just won't. Did you talk to anybody else?
Yeah, was there any commiseration going on?
there was.
Were you
for a
catching
little-
eyes with other people and like just?
There was one guy in the front who was 16 years old who never spoke, and he just kept putting his head down. Every time the dude would say something, his head would just hit the table. So I could feel, like, even though I couldn't make eye contact, because I'm in the back of the room, back
Yeah.
right corner, I was like, ooh,
Where the
best
cool
seat in the
kids
house.
sit.
Furthest seat from
Yeah.
there. But every time this kid's head would go down, boom, onto the ground.
Oh.
He'd be like, this is not good. And then there was another girl directly behind him in front of me. She refused to speak, and she would just look down. So those two felt me. They felt my anger. But, like, the people close to him, they couldn't get away from him because he's engaging. He's looking at him. You
Yeah.
know, he's talking to the room. He's teaching the damn class in his mind.
Yeah.
He knows everything. Dude, never
That's
shut
brutal,
up.
dude.
He's not all there.
Oh, there's no doubt. Oh, you know how I know he's not all there? First break comes, right? We get a 15-minute break. Now, they're like, y'all want to skip that break? And everybody, like, to take the time off the end. Now, this is at the point where I still thought I had a hope,
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Power through. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't mind if we skip the break. I got
naive.
I got no problem with it. And then the girl in the back's like, well, I need a break. She
Yeah.
just gets up. Lady's like, 15-minute break. And I'm like, there's 15 more minutes. Like, this sucks. But so I'm like, well, I may as well go to the bathroom. I go in there. This big-ass truck driver, he's a pants around his ankle pisser.
Oh no.
No way.
I couldn't believe it. I walk in. I'm like, oh, my.
Wow.
My man is just a child. Like, just a man-child of a truck driver.
I thought you were gonna say during the 15 minutes he just walked up front and talked shop with the teacher the whole time.
No,
He did that on the second 15
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
He went in there and dropped his pants all the way around his ankles. And
Bare
I walked
ass?
in. Yeah, he's got his sweatpants down around his ankles. He's just peeing, standing
And
there.
his underwear too.
And I'm just, So that was the weird thing.
Don't go down this
No.
rabbit hole.
So he did. So when you said bare-assed, I was like, it's better for the pod. But no, his underwear was on.
Yeah.
So it's like he's using the pee hole.
Yeah.
And if you
Which
got
means you
sweatpants,
could just pull your sweatpants down just a hair.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
go over the log. You don't have to go
He
through the rabbit
drops
hole.
them all the way down, but
Yeah,
then
you could
takes
just
the,
drop the waist under your junk
but
and
then
you're
takes
good
the
to go.
time. So like somebody must have told him at some point at prom night or homecoming when he got made fun of in the bathroom.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
so now he keeps his fucking tighty whities up, but his fucking pants are
Pants
around,
around his ankles.
which is honestly, it's just as bad of a
Yeah,
look.
it really is.
I'd rather see some ass in this situation. But he was like, he took the time to pull it out the hole, but everything else is on the ground. And I'm like, all right, for starters, your pants are touching a piss floor.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Not just maybe your cuffs, like your entire pants
Yeah, like,
are now
let's get 'em down in the
draping
puddle.
in the piss.
Like, what the? Oh, I was dying. I was like, this guy sucks. So his pants are down. He's peeing. And I walk in. I'm like, and there's someone taking a deuce.
Oh, nice.
And so my only option is to sidecar this dude with his pants down.
Oh no.
Oh,
I'm like-
no.
All right.
The co-pilot with him?
Yeah, I was like, all right, dog's your co-pilot, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm getting in there.
Did you ride shotgun or did you take the driver's seat?
I was technically driver's seat.
Oh.
He had put the courtesy space between him and the crapper, which then stuck me between this dude's nasty ass and this dude taking a crap.
Blowing ass.
And the worst part about it is this dude's got stage fright because he's got his pants around his ankles,
Yeah.
and I hear nada.
Yeah, he's just standing
He's
there.
just standing there.
in
He's
his
waiting.
underwear.
No, he's actually just waiting for somebody to show up to talk to.
He might have been, but so now I got a dude next to me who nary a plop, and a guy over here nary a drop, which then is starting to affect me.
Yeah.
because I'm like,
Now you're in your
now
own
it's
head
dead
about it.
silent.
yeah. So I'm like, but there's a lot of silence for people doing ones and twos all around me with pants on the ground. So I'm like, I give it the big squeeze. Like we got to power
Yeah.
through this. Fortunately, everything started working. It never fixed the glitch. No one else.
You
it-
didn't.
I didn't relieve the pressure for
You
the
didn't.
group.
You didn't say this is where the dicks hang out.
I wonder if his was even out. Like I wonder now if he's just down there with his pants
Yeah.
down,
Just, get a
just
little
so he can
fake
air
fresh
out.
air.
Yeah.
because I don't have any proof he was peeing. You know, and he's just sitting there.
Please tell me he was your project partner.
Oh, dude. He's my life partner at this point. I feel like I know everything. I know more about him than my own wife.
Yeah.
It was horrible because he never shut up. So yeah, then of
So
course
is this an 8 to 5 class or 8 to 4?
it's 8 to 4 with a 1 hour lunch break. in
Okay.
there, which is nice. Now we didn't get out by 4. not to bury
When
the
did you
lead.
realize 4 o'clock wasn't happening?
When we broke for lunch, and we were through? There was like 9 segments, and we gotten through 3.
Oh no!
Yeah, you're
And
supposed to
then
be
we
half-
broke for lunch, and then
The
she's
second half of the day is supposed to be the easy half, like you're supposed to power
Yes.
through the morning.
no, we got 3 in. We weren't even at the natural break.
Wow!
But she's like, well, these people have to eat.
yeah, y'all are hungry.
So she let us go, and then she was like, do you want an hour or do you guys want 45 minutes? We can keep this thing moving. Like she's still trying to
Yeah,
get us
yeah.
out early.
She knows she's behind the 8 ball at this point.
And again, there's a couple of us like, yeah, man, I'm good with a short lunch. Same girl who never spoke the whole time until breaks were brought up, and she was like, no, I need the full hour. And it was like, I don't know.
Was she young? Did she not know how the thing works?
Younger, but not. I don't.
Not
it's just-
16, like not first time doing
Yeah,
it.
we'll call her 24.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
It
she
might
was.
still been a first time.
I think, according to the teacher, she was pregnant, which is hilarious because I saw no indications to believe that this woman was pregnant. But she was saying, she was like, as soon as she left one time, because she left at one point just to go to the bathroom. She was like, she does go to the bathroom a lot. I think she's got a baby pushing on her bladder. And I'm like,
God.
not the kind of thing you just bring up.
Also, you can't say that.
And for starters, I don't see a single bump. Like
I was
there's-
gonna say how you don't air that out. Like
Yeah.
even if a woman's 7 months pregnant, you don't throw that out.
You
there.
don't bring it, and she doesn't know her at all.
Yeah.
All she
Wow.
knows is she was a court-ordered person who had to.
70-year-old.
Yeah, she just. Oh yeah,
Yeah, just
oh,
says that.
she's pregnant. It's pushing against her bladder.
The problem,
I don't know that.
the problem too with taking those little 15-minute breaks is they never are only 15 minutes.
No, they're always 20, 25.
Yeah, 17, 18, 20 minutes. And then it takes a few minutes to warm back up into it.
Yep.
every time.
Dude, he came in at one point, and he's not wearing his mask. I mean, he is like defiant. He also doesn't wash his hands after he pisses.
Oh,
but I also don't know
nice.
that he
Love that
pissed.
for you.
So I'm not sure what's going on with this guy. But I know he doesn't do that, and I know he's not wearing a mask. And then at one point, the teacher brings up how she got in an argument with her sister at that, because why wouldn't she discuss a Thanksgiving argument with her sister about vaccines?
Oh.
This dude in the back lights
I bet he had
up.
some ideas.
Yeah.
Oh my! He's like, you can't get me to wear a mask. Someone tells me to wear a mask, I tell them to shove it up their ass. And I'm like, okay. Like, if we could just stay on topic, we could get through this so
Brendan's
much.
like flipping through the book, like, I don't see the mask section in here.
But
What are we
then-
doing?
Ma'am, I've read all the slides already. Like, can I go?
But this
jump ahead?
animates the guy next to me. 'Cause now
Oh,
we got
no.
a man
Yeah.
who
Now we
is
got some conversations
adamant
going.
about masks and adamant about the vaccine, which I'm like, please, guys,
Topic.
we can do
Stay
this after
on
class. You
topic.
guys can argue
Go
all
get
day.
a beer together, socially apart.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
So then he starts in, he's like, "No, man, you should get that vaccine." Then the teacher chimes in, "Absolutely, you should get the vaccine. It's in the greater good." You don't tell me what's the greater good. I was born an American. I'm going to die American. I don't know what y'all are going to die as. And I'm like,
Wow.
what kind of comment was that? You don't lose your nationality.
Yeah.
That's just not how that works. Oh, just going off. That wasn't even the one that got him the most animated.
Oh, wow.
It was the gun control tirade we went off on.
Oh, you hit
Yeah,
that
typical
topic.
things that you talk about.
What
in
are
that.
we doing? The teacher just
Man.
out of nowhere.
You really hit like all of the RNC.
Yeah.
talking
Teacher,
points here.
the teacher bought the
The
talking point
teacher out of nowhere. She goes, we had 122 guns for every 100 Americans in this country. Worst part about this is she brings this up when the trucker's not in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Because at this point, this is coming out of a break. We come in and she's just like, this is unbelievable. And then she starts talking about some guy who was eating dinner in Philly, and a stray bullet came in and killed him right in front of his family at Thanksgiving dinner. Ruined Thanksgiving. I'm like, ruined more than that, but okay.
Yeah.
And then so she's going down this tirade, and then it ends. Naturally comes the trucker, walks in. I'm like, whew, dodged
Dodged,
it.
Yeah.
dodged a literal
Oh,
bullet.
dodged the bullet.
So then what does she do? Oh, you just missed it. We were talking about how there's 122
no.
guns for every 100 Americans. And he's like, you damn right there is. He's like, yeet.
Not enough, if you ask me.
I was like, here we go. And he's like, a well-armed country is the safest country. That's when the 19-year-old girl finally decided she had an opinion. She'd been shutting up all day. But now all of a sudden she's like, more mass shootings in this country than any other country. Look at the facts. And he's like,
no.
he's like, mass shootings don't happen to people with all them guns. I'll tell you that now. It's the people who don't have the guns that are getting shot. Guns are here to protect us. Boom, tirade, 15 minutes about guns.
Gone.
And I'm like, damn it, we're never leaving.
You should have gotten up and just walked out and then
It was
been like, we didn't
Brutal.
talk about driving safety in this
Can
class.
I do this next week instead? Like,
Yeah.
I'll show up another week.
he and the teacher talked about air brakes and how difficult it is to drive with liquid in the back of a truck.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I get that that's probably relevant in a CDL course, but every one of us is here because of some bullshit ticket we got. We went around the room at one point to introduce ourselves and why we were there. Literally every person in the room, including the guy who was there because he didn't have to be there because he was the best. Wrong. Speeding ticket. Speeding ticket, speeding ticket, speeding ticket, speeding. Unbelievable. Whole room, speeding. All of us, bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
We come back from lunch. Now everyone's been fighting all morning. Fucking through 3 of 9 chapters. I'm dying a slow death, and I realize I'm never leaving. I'm never leaving.
Forward all my mail here.
But now there's an old lady in the front who's been very quiet all day, but she finally got to eat,
Uh-oh.
and she came in bearing gifts.
Gifts.
She brought everybody peanuts. God forbid there's a peanut allergy. Anybody here peanut allergy? Peanut allergy? No. Peanut allergy? No. Peanut allergy? I'm like,
good.
why do we have to do this?
Oh.
How about you raise your hand if you have the peanut allergy? Don't ask everybody
Yeah.
in the room. She literally brings peanuts for everybody. She's got honey roasted. She's got other peanuts. Then she's got a whole thing. She's got snack packs stacked up.
What?
Like this is some like
Did you
this,
rob a convenience store?
she's like the sweetest grandma in the world, you know? And she's like, I get tired when I don't eat. And she was right because after lunch, all of a sudden, this is a woman who had been deadly silent and now was like bringing snacks for everybody and was all excited.
Jibber jabbering.
Dude, and
The epitome of a Snickers commercial, basically.
Yeah.
she
You're
fed,
not you.
She fed everybody in the room,
good to
which
go?
sweet lady, like I ain't mad at her. But then this sweet lady, she's like, we got to talk about road rage because you know what I got a lot of? Road rage. And I'm like, what? Why are we going off on this tangent? Like, we're not even in the right section yet.
Get a ticket for
And now we're talking about road rage. And she goes off. Now the trucker's like, damn right. Middle finger, universal language. You know what I'm saying? He's going around the room
my
showing everyone
God.
his finger. I'm like, dude, what is happening? So now she.
This
and
sounds like
him,
it should be a sitcom.
Yeah,
like,
really.
honestly.
worst sitcom I've ever fucking seen. It was a nightmare. And as I'm just watching the hours go by, finally the teacher's getting frustrated. And she's like, we're going to skip this video and go straight to the answers. Now we're skipping entire videos. 3 of 9 chapters we never saw. We were just given.
Wow.
We were just given answers.
Yeah, but you
then
got an
she-
education you can't pay for.
I'd rather pay double and be out in half the time without any of this.
In reality, like, if you were to get hurt or, like, get another ticket, you'd probably have a lawsuit on your hand because you could be like, I attended your quote-unquote mandated driving school that was supposed to help me be a better driver, and we didn't even touch on a third of the damn subject.
She literally would tell us when to break the law. She'd be like, you see that yellow light coming, but there's a truck behind you. You take that ticket because they can't stop. And then he's like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, preach on.
that's what I'm talking about. You guys do not understand how difficult it is to get those brakes to slow you down. And then he's just off.
Now imagine you got 50,000 gallons of unpasteurized milk pushing that truck down the road. You think I can just
Yep.
stop that on a dime?
He's like, I cannot. And I've almost killed people locking up brakes. I've seen some bad situations, man. And then gone. 10 minutes. Boom. And I'm
It's like a vortex every time he opens
Yeah.
his mouth.
every time. And then I don't know what happened, but there was this sweet 19-year-old girl, like this. She was like the sweet person, very, very soft voice, like you can't believe. But every once in a while, like he'd say something so stupid that she'd have to turn around and be like, no, that's actually not correct. You don't do that. That's not right. But then somehow it comes out that she can't read a clock, like an analog clock.
She said that out loud?
Volunteers it to the class. Why are you telling us you're an idiot? There's no reason to tell us this.
I can't believe that.
So she decides to volunteer it. Guess what we do for the next 20 minutes?
Talk about how to read.
Teach her how to fucking read a clock. Wasn't on the test. Don't remember seeing her on the test. We're telling
Did y'all
her
have an analog clock to show her, or were y'all like on the whiteboard drawing shit?
the grandma up
Oh,
front.
that would be hilarious.
Grandma up front is like has her watch.
Yeah.
And she's like, these lines are 5 minutes. So I want you just to look for the small hand. That's the hour. Now count 5, 10, 15, 20. She's like, yeah, I know the 5, 10, 15, 20. She's like, all right, good. We're making progress. Everyone's in here now volunteering how to teach this girl how to read a clock, which I'm like, she shouldn't even have a license.
Yeah,
Because
seriously.
you have to get out of, there's other things you need to do. Oh,
Yeah.
man,
How can she pass 10 and 2 if she can't read an analog clock?
right.
that's the funniest thing. And 10 and 2 is no longer good. It's 8,
Yeah.
it's 8 and 4.
Yeah.
Or 9 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The confusing information we get. Now, for the purpose of the test, it's 8 and 4, but I think 9 and 3. I'm like, stop breaking the rules.
Yeah.
The rules are the rules. You teach us black and white, not how much gray area there is between black and white. I get there is.
Yeah.
You don't have to explain it. Because every time she explains it, now everybody's pontificating on it.
Well, now you got two
Truck
sets of
driver's like-
numbers in your head.
Truck driver's like, I just drive a 12 leaned back.
Yep.
Like, of course you do. You're so fucking pimp.
Yeah.
I never seen such a stud. Every time he walks in the room, I'm like, was that Ice Cube? Ooh, he's so cool.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah. Like, were you hitting the 3-wheel motion? No.
Yeah.
You're not.
He's in the back going, who's the asshole with the Miata out front?
I ran into it.
It was, I never seen anything like that. That class was a nightmare. Just a flat out nightmare. And of course, it went all the way to the bell. I mean, the final bell. And
I bet
so
you felt like shit when you walked out of that door.
I came home. My wife was like, as soon as I walked in, what did she told me to do something. She like had a chore. She was like, I need you to go do this. And I was like, I felt like Ely. You ever seen Ely? Like one of his eye closed, you can just see that like he's got like
Yeah.
pain behind there. I saw my face do it. And she's like, I need you to go get dinner and go get this and go to just.
Yeah.
And then I look over and I'm like, the Christmas tree's falling. She's like, what? I'm like, the Christmas tree's falling.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, no.
I have to go over there. I spent 30 minutes fixing the Christmas
Yep.
tree.
Before
finally
you get to her chores.
And then I get to her chores. But I'm like, how have you guys missed that the tree is literally full of ornaments about to just eat it into the ground? And I'm like, oh, my God. It was a day, man.
Yeah,
Sounds like you
like
had a
it.
great Saturday.
It was
Nice little Saturday.
a nice little Saturday.
Interesting.
I cannot recommend A to Z driving school.
I'm surprised, of all people here, I'm surprised that you didn't do like the most in-depth research to find out all the reviews that said, yeah, you get out of here after lunch.
Dude,
yeah, only 5 hours.
All of the reviews.
So you just got the bad draw.
All of the reviews
Did
are
that
like,
kick off your losing streak that you're currently on?
no, that was in the middle of it. It was in the middle of it. No, because I read the reviews and they were like, okay, it's funny, it's good class, you know, and they'll give you options.
Too
You
many
can get out-
variables.
you can get out early. But that dude,
So you
That
think the
dude
guy
ruined it.
was the problem?
yes, 100%. He wore everybody down. And then after a while, when everybody realized they were screwed, the people were like, I
give
may
up.
as well give a counterpoint because
You think that dude went home to his old lady and was like, I taught all them some bitches something there today, honey.
You got 16 safer drivers.
That's
out there.
right.
I
Yep.
think he just goes back to being alone in his truck. He's probably
100%. I was sitting there looking at him like, no woman's ever touched anything below that waist. Like he just, and I've seen it. It's all Manscaped should get a hold of this guy because this would be the greatest head ever. Because I've seen there's a lot of hair going,
A lot going on.
and I know he's over 300 pounds. Know why?
He
Because he
told
told
you.
me.
Yeah.
I didn't ask how much you weigh. That's rude. I
Yeah.
wouldn't ask that.
You also didn't ask to know whether he wears boxers or briefs that
Yeah.
day.
No, but you see, it came up because they said, how long does it take for the average person to process 1 ounce of alcohol? You know, and it turns out now they've changed that to 2 hours instead of 1 hour. That was actually something new to me because I've always worked on the 1 hour
Yeah.
assumption. So I was like, huh.
Well,
and
two is a cover your ass thing. Like,
I think it's because it's you're to everyone from a 100-pound person and on up. But then, of course, he's like, I process that stuff at least in an hour. There's no doubt it takes longer than that for me because I'm 300 pounds. And then he starts talking about how much he likes to drink whiskey
yeah,
and how much he likes to get drunk. And again, I'm like, you can't do this.
yeah.
You don't talk about this stuff in class. Like,
You don't need to bring up your alcoholism in a
no.
driving class.
I felt guilty that I was wearing a Guinness sweatshirt. And of course, he walks up to me and goes, Guinness sweatshirt, huh? What do you got in the cup? I'm like, it's literally a coffee cup.
Yeah.
Looks like a coffee cup. Smells like a coffee cup. It's 10 in the morning. He's like, but you can't wait to get out of here and get a drink. And I was like, we're not doing this,
Yeah, yeah.
friendo.
Yeah.
Did you offer him a locally grown podcast that talks about beers and bourbons that he could learn a
Literally
little
Two
no.
on his drive.
No chance. I don't want anything to do with him. It was nightmarish.
Guess who we have as a caller in today?
Oh,
I guess who's behind door number one? Yeah.
Live from somewhere in Arizona. Trucker Carl.
if that dude walked in here,
What if that was Boo Boo?
Oh.
if that's Boo Boo, if that is Boo Boo, I will shut down the podcast forever last episode. Because the people we are attracting is not the people I thought we were attracting.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed in the entire system. But it was, yeah, dude, it was a nightmare. It
Sounds brutal.
It was a nightmare. And I'm certain I have glossed over 100 things because you couldn't possibly imagine
What was
how
covered?
many tangents we went down. I would say 20% of the topics, 20% of the time was spent on the material. The fact that I got 100, I will give Donna credit
Yeah.
She really hammered in the points you needed
because
to know.
she would be like, she's like, all right, let's review. In each chapter, she'd be like, here's some questions I want you to answer. And then we'd review them. But of course, every one of those, he would talk through it.
Yeah.
But in the end, the trick is she's literally only giving you the 5 questions from each chapter, and she's making sure that you know the answer. So that was at least helpful. Like,
Yeah.
got through it. Everybody passed.
Getting 100's pretty impressive because normally you
Found
fuck
a
up
way to
1 or
miss
2
one,
of them.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Who do you think finished the test first?
Know it all, dude.
Literally slammed his pencil down and yelled, "Finished!"
Oh my God.
And I'm
Wait,
like,
third grade.
I was like,
Yeah.
of course a third grader would slam his pencil down and yell, "Finish!"
Of course, someone who pees with their pants around their ankles
Yes.
would do that.
No, there's no doubt.
In tighty whities.
What?
Yeah.
What gave it away?
Yeah. So he yells finished when he's done, and I'm thinking,
Get a lollipop?
nobody cares
Yeah.
that you finished so quickly. And then we grade all of our tests. He's like 100. And I'm
Oh,
like,
my
you're
God.
in good company.
I'm
then.
sure there's
Yep.
plenty of us in here who got 100 on the 20 questions that we've been reviewing for 8 hours. But,
It's only a 20-question test.
yeah.
I think that something like that, they should offer
That's
you.
ridiculous.
You walk in and say, no preparation, nothing. Here's the test.
Take
you
the
can take
test,
it right
yeah.
now if you want.
Oh, yeah. I would have never gotten it though, because honestly, there's so many variables. Like,
Yeah.
what should I be doing to look for feet? Oh, ground scanning. Like, how would I know ground scanning? Like, once you
Yeah.
hear the term, you go,
Yeah.
ground scanning. Okay, mental note. 20 to 30 seconds or 30 to 40 seconds ahead. You know, it's like,
But I mean, you can take that one shot. Like,
Roll the dice,
Yeah.
get out of jail free.
hell
yeah, because you only need to get an 80.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been, that would have been merciful. Oh, that would have been great. Yeah, listen to him. Finished. We believe it.
Did you grade your own test?
First time he's ever
We
said
did
that.
grade
So
our own
chances
test.
are he didn't get 100 because he was going to put down what he thought was right no matter what anyway.
I'm willing to. Yes, he got 100. I will never question
Yeah.
him. I will never ask him a question. If he says he got 100, he got 100. Go home. Just
Move along.
go home. Holy
Did you have to give a review,
shnikes.
and did you give an honest review?
I just gave it.
I think you should give a link to this podcast, just this portion of it, this portion of it, as a review to A to Z driving.
I don't know.
Say, this is what you need to know.
What if they brought me back in? I had to see that guy again. Like,
In all fairness, it probably wasn't the teacher's fault because it doesn't sound like anyone was going to keep that dude in check.
no, but like I said, by the time lunchtime came around, she had a new focus.
Yeah.
She was like, I can't have this happen here. Like, we're never gonna leave. And so he's telling stories and she's talking over him, and so he's getting louder, and now she's trying to come back, and I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
what is
That would
happening?
drive me
Oh,
crazy.
Yeah, I would have lost my damn
Somebody has to
mind.
stop that. That's not.
And she was the sweetest. I mean, she was a sweet lady. But if I got to hear how difficult it is about her bus routes or her dogs again, and which one's a lap dog and which one's
Oh
not a
my
lap
God.
dog, and where on her route she has to, do a perfect, 6-point turn before she ends up in some field, and then he's telling jokes. You'd be taking home some cows with you on that trip, and then everyone goes, and she goes,
yeah.
and then we're off talking about cows and how many cows you can get in a fucking bus.
Oh my God.
No one knows the answer.
I was about to say, what's the answer there?
Nobody
Yeah.
knows.
Oh.
Nobody
Seats are
knows.
probably-
Seats or no seats?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's important. Well,
Short bus, long bus.
You know,
She
cows won't
thinks-
go down steps too,
No.
so you gotta have a ramp put in.
Yes.
Yep.
They got one of them ADA lifts for it.
Yeah.
She thinks maybe 2.
You can fit more than 2 cows.
Well, not
on
with
a
the kids.
bus. Oh,
Kids
with
are
the
already
kids.
super
Okay,
crowded.
all right.
Oh man, we got so many kids on this bus.
Those
But I'll tell
cows
you,
are going
if
to
they-
mess the egress up.
Oh, she's a
Yeah.
school bus driver.
School bus driver.
I wonder if she's the school bus driver out my way, because where I live, there's two counties where they hit like houses, and then at the county line, the bus driver stops, makes a left turn across the yellow line, backs up into somebody's driveway, and then turns.
Does
the
it
rest
almost
of the
hit a
way.
cattle fence?
No, there's no.
Okay, 'cause I can describe her whole damn route. I can tell you what time it gets dark. I can tell you what her method is to make sure that she can actually see in her driveway as she comes in. It's solar lights. It's solar lights.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Because she only needs them for a couple hours, because it's only dark couple hours a year, couple
Yeah.
months a year. The rest of the time it's perfectly fine. I get home and there's not a problem. I'm like, why are we talking?
Why are we
about
talking
this?
about this?
Like, what is happening? And you know what's strange? That truck driver, not a dog lover. Thought that was weird. Seems like the kind of guy that would like some
I
kind
thought
of.
he was American.
He was born American. He will die American. I don't know how you're gonna die.
Interesting.
What you'll die at.
Yeah.
I don't. Some of the quotes that came out, I was like texting my wife. I was like, "Oh, this one's good. This is a great quote. This is a great quote." Like, it was a wild.
Well, this is a
class.
pertinent review because I have to go do driving school.
Might I
also.
recommend A to Z at the La Quinta Inn next to Hooters, which
That's
is a
probably why I picked that one, was close to home.
huge selling point. I was
Yeah.
like, it's 5 minutes there. I know how to get there. And it's like they had one on a day that I could do and still get my stuff out.
I know what I'm
Great
doing
place for lunch.
It's
Exactly.
next to Hooters. Oh,
lunch.
after that dude never shut up, I'm looking at him and I'm like, this dude's going to Hooters.
I was about to say, did you run
Yep.
into him? at
So I
lunch?
drove home.
Oh,
Had to eat a sandwich, some old leftovers sandwich. Like,
with your wife.
no, there was nobody here. I got home and it was just sad and quiet. It
I
was
bet
like,
you
well,
love that silence, though.
I did, but at the same time, like, I just wanted to vent.
Did you even turn the radio on the drive home? Just ride in silence.
Gosh, you know what? I think it was dead silent the way home. I think I had recouped enough that I had the radio. But now that you say it, I do remember just staring down the road at cars in silence and like, I can make that. And then like turned out.
Did it feel like you'd never driven before when you first got back in your car?
Kind of does.
Yeah.
It kind of does. You just kind of. And then the very next day, I'm cutting down a Christmas tree and I'm driving back and I'm out in Powhatan in the middle of nowhere.
Going 115.
And I'm doing 60 and a 55 and I'm barreling and I've got that old truck and the light turns yellow and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it if I slam my brakes because my brakes suck.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I also can't speed up fast enough to get through that light.
Yeah.
And so I blew through this yellow light and I looked up and I saw it was still yellow as I was going under it. But there's big old cameras all around, and I'm like, please, God, don't have that light have turned red right at that second, and then boom, I'm just waiting for my mail to be like
2 weeks later, Mr. Kennedy, nice to see you again.
Oh, I'll just take the points. I'll take the points.
Most of those things that look like cameras aren't cameras.
Well, and that's what I was banking on. I was banking on that, but man,
they're there for emergency vehicles. They pick up
don't have many
they
cameras
put yeah
around here.
they pick up
this is
the
out in Powhatan. I don't know.
they pick up the flashing lights from police and fire trucks and
Change
ambulances.
signals.
Yeah,
Scares
change
the
signals.
bejesus out of me. I was like, I can't do this again. Like if I could just get away with this one
Yeah.
time, I'll
Are
never.
you there, God? Are you listening?
I'll never do it again.
Actually, I don't think they pick up the flashing. I think there's something mounted on the top of emergency vehicles that picks up, not the flashing lights. But they do look like cameras.
Yeah. Oh, it had me
Enough to scare you.
It had me panicked. I was like, I blew it so bad. But we'll see.
I actually went to court for my ticket because I was under the impression I was like, well, I don't want to just pay this thing online and admission to guilt be like, okay, I'll take the points. It's going to go to my insurance. The DMV is going to lose points, whatever. So I actually went to court, and out of the driving tickets that were there,
Good. You have like a piece of glitter right
yes,
here.
because I decorated the brewery today.
Okay.
That's what I would say too if I've been at a strip club.
Yeah. And what's with all the baby powder smell?
yeah.
No, you did. You just had this little. Because he was like looking. He's like, he looks over and then he looks at me. I'm like, look, you seeing the glitter, huh?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm full of the Christmas spirit now.
Go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. We did not mean.
No, but the judge, I figured I would get in there and be like, okay, because a couple times I've shown up for court and the judge has got such a big thing on the docket. They're like, well, if you just, if you show up and it's nothing big, maybe the judge will just let you go, reduce it, do whatever. This guy was like, what the hell? He's like, literally gave me this look like, what the hell are you doing here? You're 60 and a 45. You should have just like paid the ticket online, do whatever, get out of it. Don't be here in my court case.
Now you got to pay the court fee.
Yeah,
and
now-
everything.
Yeah, but there's points.
Yeah, I know. So I was hoping that he was just like going to be in a good mood or whatnot. And he's like, let's get all these singles out of the way. A lot of people weren't showing up, and he was reading off names. I guess he was just getting angrier and angrier that people weren't there. And then he's just like,
And then he got mad as you
and
were.
then he just looked at me and he's like, so 16 to 45. All right. How do you plea? I was like,
Well, I'm
you're
here.
guilty. The officer who pulled me over is right there.
Yeah.
She's got the paperwork.
Looked over at her. Not guilty.
That's always the worst part because you're like, what argument do I have? You're like,
Yeah,
you're looking at the cop. Like,
Well, the best thing was
Nut.
and it was just interesting. When I got pulled over, I got pulled over right at the airport road, and I pulled into a driveway that was going onto the airport, but there was a gate there, and you couldn't get in. So not only did the Henrico police show up, two unmarked airport cars
Oh,
show
gosh.
up. They're like, what are you doing parked on,
you're like, I'm
Federal-
going to get out of the way so this officer doesn't get rear-ended
right,
by
and
some jackass.
we both were off the road,
And
way
then
off the road.
They look at it like
what is
terrorist.
going on?
He's just trying to make his
Did you have a
move.
mustache during this time? Or was
No,
it
this was 2 months ago. And the funny thing was I see that it's I just acted real casual. Police officer comes up. It's a lady. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Here's my license. Here's my
business
insurance card.
officer.
I was like, how are things going? She was literally more interested in Aaron than she was me because Aaron was in the car with me.
That's perfect. That's what you want.
Didn't help.
Like, there you go. Talk to her. She's fine. I'm speeding.
But yeah, that had taken 20 some odd years.
Yeah, well, definitely A to Z.
I'll take it.
That's the place to go.
I'll take.
Sounds nice.
It's very nice this time of
I
year.
might. You know what? I'm going to sign up as a comparison.
We should all go just on our free
You
Saturday.
can be the
Yeah.
volunteer guy.
Yeah.
Sounds entertaining.
if you get
You want
out,
to go back, Brendan?
no.
Well,
No?
you need to
I mean,
share
I'm
all the knowledge
scared.
that you learned with, other unsuspecting people.
There you go.
I should
You
just start
can be
telling,
our truck driver.
I'll start telling his stories.
Yeah, like they're
You
your
got to
own.
keep the legend going.
And you got to say everything. I'm 300 pounds, so I know.
I wore my tidy whities today just for this.
I do. I have to walk in the bathroom behind just some other guy, drop my pants, and I got to give them the full experience.
Yeah.
Well, now when people read your review, they're gonna be like, "Well, man, I just didn't get the full experience out of this." Like Brendan said, there was gonna be a guy.
I'm signing up right now.
I think you should.
I gotta
And I
go
want to know
just
if
to
you
get
get
this
Donna,
down.
because
As
Donna.
for Donna,
I want to see if Donna's capable of moving through that material quickly. And
Would
I
you
wanna-
be disappointed though if it ends up that let's say Stu does go and it's 4.5 hours, doesn't come
oh
back
God,
after
he
lunch,
was
like, how
be
would
so
you feel?
upset.
I'll tell you, I don't wish what happens on anybody. No, I hope he gets out in 4.5 hours. That sounds reasonable. I do hope you get to watch all of the horrible death footage they show you. What is up with
Is
that?
it anything
That is
recent, or is it still the same videos that they've shown us since I was 16?
Yeah, it's mostly older videos, but you definitely see the guy racing down the highway, clip a car, roll it, get thrown from the car over the highway
the
onto
green.
the other side, then he gets run over by the other cars, and you're like, dude, what the hell? And then she does one where there's a guy and his head is stuck in the back of a truck and he's just hanging there.
Oh,
Nice.
And she's like, that motorcycle was doing about 100 miles an hour when it slammed into the back of that truck. And that truck drove for 15 miles with his dead body hanging out the back
Nice.
before somebody was able to flag him down.
that Halloween decoration was realistic as shit.
And she just kept showing that
Awesome.
picture. And
God.
and of course he's like the trucker. Ain't no way that truck driver felt that. I tell you, you can have a motorcycle slam in 100
Yep.
miles an hour. You won't even know. This truck is so long, so big. So I'm like, oh gosh. Here we go.
Brutal.
But yeah, I had to see a lot of dead people.
That's always
A lot
fun.
more dead. That chapter we didn't skip.
No,
You went
You know,
very in depth
she
on
skipped
that.
some
saw
other
all
ones.
the images.
She goes, "This one's important."
Are you? Yeah. Are you?
Chapter 8.
Important about
Blood
it.
runs red on the highway.
Yeah,
This one's important because that's the one that scares you.
it really does. That
You
probably
know?
does. Like,
Yeah, you're like, my God.
I will go 25 miles an hour
Yeah.
for the rest of my
And
life.
I like that she really used local examples.
Oh,
She's
so
like,
you
now
saw
this.
highways you recognize.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's like, this is a highway just over here. This is a country road just over here. As you can imagine, nobody survived. I'm like, yeah, I see that. That's
Ugh.
a smart car that's now the size of a quarter.
yeah.
Like, of course nobody survived. Trains always win. We know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
we don't.
if you didn't have the photographic evidence, I was totally not going to believe you.
And then, sure enough, the old grandma up front decides to volunteer. I've done that. I went around the thing, and then I went over the track, and she's like, boy, I just made it. That train missed me. And I'm like, what do you do? You need to be here.
Yeah.
What are
you're-
you even doing? And she was like, they would have never forgiven me. I had my so-and-so's baby in
Oh
the
my
car. I'm like,
God.
you
God.
have lost your mind. What do you? These people all needed to be in driving school and clock school.
Oh my God! Clock school.
Oh, I'm so frustrated. I'm telling you, I could talk all night about this. I'm not going to. Because
Speaking of time, where are we?
We're at definitely time for me to have a drink and just slow it down, and I'll let it process for 2 hours.
What's our deli today?
Fucking beer.
Oh,
See, now
Okay.
everybody wants the bourbon back because we're tired of the beer already.
He's like, yeah, we're not. He's frustrated. Get this man a beer.
So he's
What are we drinking here?
we got a lot of delis.
I have options.
you were talking about the train track thing. There's a camera in the town of Ashland that sits right there where those train
Yeah.
tracks are at
Oh,
Center
yeah.
Street. So if you're not from the area,
Iron Horse right there.
There's a two sets of tracks that run right through downtown Ashland, just north of Richmond.
Historic little town.
And there's a one-way street on either side of it. So going north, you're on the right-hand side, south, whatever. So there's a camera set up on top of one of the buildings nearby there that I don't know if it's put up by Amtrak or CSX or whether it just
Yeah.
happens to be building
Town of
security
Ashland
what
or
it
something,
is.
yeah.
But you will constantly find videos of people making left-hand turns and then ending up on the tracks because the road is split. It's
Yeah.
effectively a median through.
You
Yeah,
see
yeah,
that
yeah.
on the Reddit, the
Yes,
subreddit
the
for
idiots in
Richmond,
cars, yes.
and they always show like the people. They're
Yes.
like, we almost lost another one today, and the
Yes.
people like panic and they just stop.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, This can't be right.
The most recent one, which I'm sure is probably the same one you're talking about, they sat in the car for so
Yeah.
long.
Like-
The
Wow.
bars are down. Cars around them are like lights on, flashing at them.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out.
like you're on the track.
Yes.
And they're staring at it, looking down the track. Like,
and you see the train coming, and you're like, they are still in the car. Why have you not gotten out? Fuck your car. Get out. And they finally hop out of this thing, and thank God that this one was on the other track.
Oh,
that the
so
train came by them.
It still
or whatever.
came by. It didn't
Oh,
stop.
no, it couldn't have stopped.
Yeah.
There's no way for it to stop.
Yeah, because trains take miles to stop.
Yeah, and luckily
yeah,
that
it's a
one
mile
too,
and a half on average. 100.
Luckily, that one in particular was a shorter Amtrak, and through towns like Ashland, they do have to slow
They
down.
do slow
They're not
down,
going
yeah.
They
90
also have to
miles an
honk their
hour.
horn.
Oh, and they
Yeah.
were. I can assure you.
Yeah.
Move out of the way.
But no,
All right.
that town does have some scary stuff.
Today's deli, I think this was brought in by our buddy Mike Jackson.
It was.
The El Presidente this year of M4K Richmond. We'll be talking about that shortly. But yes, he brought this in. So this is from a brewery I've never tried called Jackie O's.
Never even heard of it.
And it's called the Who Cooks For You Hazy Pale Ale. Where's Jackie O's out of? Does anybody
It is.
know that?
That's a
information?
crazy.
Athens, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's a crazy looking can.
That owl is scary.
So you know the Who Cooks For You.
I don't know that reference.
So I think it's barn owls. The sound that they make, they say, mimics that same sound. Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you?
Oh,
And that's how
really?
you know
Who
what,
cooks for
what's-
you?
yeah,
Who cooks for you?
exactly.
Okay.
Interesting. Never heard
I'm going
that.
to look it up now to make sure it's a barn owl. People get mad at me if it's not.
Well, it
That's
says
true.
that, let's see, Who Cooks For You is Jackie O's first packaged hazy pale ale, brewed and double dry hopped with over 3 pounds a barrel of Ciro hop powder and hop pellets.
Got it right?
Got
Yes,
it right?
it was barn owls.
Says they're using hand-selected hops from Yakima, Washington. The little number is full of bright aromas, flavors, mango, watermelon, and lemon. Subtle sweetness, soft bitterness for a year-round fruit flavor.
Dry hopped with Citra and Mosaic.
It's been a long time since we've done a beer here.
Yeah.
Especially a pale ale. So this is actually probably the right way to get back into it, considering that is like the true.
And to Lee's
Deli.
credit, it says in their write-up, named after the unmistakable Appalachian barned owl call, Who Cooks For You?
Allow me to
Barred owls.
say.
Barred owl.
barn
Sorry, Bard, not
owls.
Bard. Bard.
And he also did not say Appalachian.
No.
So
Regional.
no points for Lee on this one.
At least I didn't lose any points.
No, of course not.
I never lose points.
That, I feel like that Who Cooks For You thing is like not an everyday known thing. Like,
I've
so,
never known that.
So if you're looking at it, like you come across this beer that says "Who cooks for you?" You're like, "What the holy
And
hell
it's
does
got
that
a
mean?"
psychedelic owl
On it, yeah.
Yeah, this owl is like pissed off.
Hey, dude, he's got a mouth on his
He's got
chest.
teeth.
No, that's a flower.
That's the hops.
That's a flower.
Yeah, that
it
checks
looks
out.
like his
It
mouth.
does look like
though.
a mouth with teeth, though.
Yeah, that's all I saw.
Yeah. Negative space, man. It's wild.
Exactly.
Does he got a
What do we
fem-
think
does
on
he got a
design here?
femur in his talons?
Whoa,
Oh, shit, he does.
that's not cool. He does. Okay.
Is he
All right.
crying or sweating, too? I can't tell.
It looks like he's tripping balls.
I don't know.
Hey, when you guys pulled up here, did you
Are those
notice?
teardrops for his how many
Yeah.
murders he has?
Did you guys notice the Christmas lights out front?
I
We did.
Yeah,
Did you notice that one of them apparently is not the same color as the others on the trees?
I did not.
Good.
I thought
My
you
wife
did-
noticed.
I thought you did that. I thought you put crazy colors up on
No,
all
so
your
there's
trees.
3 trees that have like just like candy cane swirls.
Yeah.
With, like,
Is one of
rope
them
lights.
LED super white and the other two are yellow?
So one of them apparently is green,
Oh,
and the other ones are just like an off white, I guess, kind of
Uh-huh.
glow, and they look spot on to me.
Nice.
And I'm like,
Ah.
nailed it. And then my daughter's like, that one's like green, and I'm like, I think you might be wrong. And my wife's like, that one's green. I was like, the kid might be right.
Why would you tell your child they're wrong when you know damn well you can't see?
I just didn't want to believe that I'd failed yet again on the
That's-
grand stage, you know.
Like in front of your most valued, closest, loving family.
The only people that like will ever tell a story about me when I'm dead, and they'll be like, so then this schmuck.
He goes to driving school, right?
How have they engineered Christmas lights to break when they're not even in use? I pulled out.
Oh, this is the
I pulled
worst.
out the 2 sets that go in my tree every year. Neither one of them worked. Pulled out the crazy tree where I have thousands of lights on, and like 8 or 9 strings of lights didn't work that worked last year.
But they were, when you pulled them down, they were working
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah.
That's always the way.
Well,
Then you store them, and then they don't work.
Yeah.
cost them 30 cents to build a 800-foot strand, and we're paying $8 for it.
Oh, yeah.
If I could find them for $8, I'd be all in.
Dude, I might have a hookup for you.
On Christmas lights?
Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa.
Seriously, got a hookup?
Yeah.
My wife buys
Damn.
all the discount stuff at the end of every year.
Yeah. So
This is going great.
Get that hookup, dude.
my dad participates in like the tacky light tour around town, and so we
Nice.
have, cases and cases and cases of extra Christmas lights.
Heck.
So
Hell yeah.
if you really do need some, I can scoop some for you probably. Also,
can
'cause
always
I,
use
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
I'm pretty excited.
also
about
'cause
it.
I want to get rid of them because I don't like having
Yeah.
them.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Especially if they're all the same. Like if I could
Are you a
get couple of
colored?
the same
Are you
color.
colored lights or white lights for Christmas?
Apparently colored, but I'm a white light guy.
On my tree, my wife likes white lights, but in my tree I do outside, it's like everything can be different.
Yeah.
The crazier it is, the better it looks.
Nice.
I agree. Yeah, well, you taught me the
Yeah.
what's that, a junk tree?
Yeah,
It's like-
something like that.
I love that concept. And every year you just buy the stuff on discount, you just throw it on the
Yep.
one tree
Yeah.
and make it look
Yeah.
just tacky as can be.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I think a house. If you're going to decorate your house on the outside, you go all one way or all the other way. It's the people that mix match the everything. It's just a hodgepodge. Like what? What is
Zoinks.
going on here?
So at my parents' house, all the front of the house is all white lights because my mom likes a really classic look.
Yeah.
And then my dad puts all the color lights in the back of the house, up in the trees and everything. And
He likes a tacky look.
yeah, about 15 years ago, I was sitting there. I was like, "This looks kind of bad with all the white lights in the front and the
Yeah.
color lights in the back. What are we doing here? Like, why are we segregating these lights out like this? Not a good look."
Lee, these lights are different. We can't allow these different lights to mix with all these pure white lights up front.
That's kind of the argument I got.
Yeah, well, he's gonna have to. Your mom's gonna have to adjust.
So I am liking this beer.
Whoa! Let's
it's
go
all-
with Stu first. I
it's-
like it.
Because when you get to I like the hazy.
You don't like IPAs.
No, but when it's a hazy, I usually will go in a little bit deeper into it where it fits my palate. Right off the bat, yeah, whoever designed the artwork was tripping. It is very, very interesting.
Brand Perrot.
But you lose.
Or
you
Brian.
Lose, yeah, you lose the brewery, Jackie O's. You don't pick up on that. But who cooks for you? Obviously, maybe you're thinking, if you don't know the Al story, you're thinking it's the brewer. They're playing off of that. Maybe they're going in with that on the name. But
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Doesn't
brush
linger.
into the mic there.
so for an IPA, I'm going to I like the marketing. I'm going to give this a 3. I would actually,
That's strong for Stu for
Uh,
an IPA.
yeah, I could see myself enjoying these. I don't necessarily know that I would buy it.
Solid. Troy, you know what you want?
Go ahead.
I do really like this. I would go as far as to say that this is a 4 for me. When you talk about a hazy IPA, it's juicy. It's got lots of good flavor. It's mellow. It's no bitterness on the back end. Really easy to drink. I don't even think I looked to see what we're looking at for like
Five.
5.5.
Oh yeah, This
5.5 or 5?
5.5.
I saw the 5 and I was like, good enough for me.
I was gonna say if it was 5, that's a 4, no doubt. 5.5, I'd take that still. So yeah, I'll give this a 4. I think it's a great.
That's funny, man, because I took that first sip and was like, bam, that's exactly what I want an IPA to taste like, because it's
Yeah.
like citrusy. I like that citra, and a hazy IPA will allow that citra to really pop. It does dry out your mouth a little bit back end, so it's got a little bit of that, but I don't mind the aftertaste either on this. I love the amount of citrus. It's a light hazy. It's not like an overly juicy, but it's definitely there. I'm actually going to go with Lee on this. That is a 4 for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that I'm not an IPA fan. My biggest hit on IPAs is the mouth coat, the mouth funk that gets in there, and I feel like I have bad breath after I'm drinking one. I feel like I just have a disgusting taste in my mouth.
Yep.
This does not have that.
That's
This
the juicy.
This is real. Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
but even the aftertaste is more citrus
Yeah.
than like bitter, which is fantastic.
yeah, but we've had. I mean, juicy IPAs are very juicy and hazy IPAs are plenty.
Yeah, that
I
term
mean, there are a
juicy
lot.
gets thrown
Yeah,
around a lot.
Dime a dozen.
this is probably the best. I mean, my memory sucks, but this is the best the cleanest finishing IPA I can remember ever having.
There's no doubt, at least this year. Like if we
Yeah.
just take it to that, there's not been an IPA close to this that we've tried this year.
Yeah, this is and like you said, I'm a citrus guy. I like citrus beers. I was thinking 3.5, but the more I think about it, the more I drink of this, I'm gonna round it up to a 4. This is a delicious beer,
Whoa!
and especially in the IPA world. Like I just,
wow.
I would buy this again. I think I would buy this.
4-4-3. I believe that, my friends.
That's a resounding.
Is
Did
a
you go
deli.
3.5 or 3?
4 4s and a 3.
Yeah, that's a deli, right?
3 4s and a 3. Sorry.
I mean, am I
4.
wrong? Am I wrong?
Yeah, 4, 4, 4, 3.5. I say that's a deli.
No, I did 3.
So that's.
Oh, you
that's
did
what-
3?
Yeah, I did 3.
15.
15 divided by 4. It's a deli.
That's a deli.
It's closer to 4 than 3. That's a deli! It breaks my heart that Lee's looking at me going, come on, dummy, the numbers. I see the numbers right there. 375.
I think
Yeah. That's
I
exactly.
didn't know you needed the actual number.
No, I just went through and I'm like, all right, 4, 4. All right, that right there, that's 12. And you do the 3, that's 15. And I'm going to divide that by 4, and I'm like, well, it's.
What do I do then?
16 would have been 4. 3 would have been really nope. It's got to be higher than 3.5. That's a deli. So like, I don't need to get to the actual number. I just need to get to the ballpark.
I think everyone would like this beer. Like
This beer rocks.
I think hopheads would like it, and just regular beer drinkers
If it
would
was
like
a 7% beer, though, I would take it down.
If
Yeah.
this was a 5% beer, like when you first said that, I was like, oh man,
sold.
this, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
at 5.5 is perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
It has to be sub 6 to even for me to really be like, yep. I love it.
I know. I mean, you and I are always in that search of that sessionable IPA, that 4.8, something like that.
If
right
that
at
was a
that
5,
oh my
I
god!
would have bought stock in Jack.
All right, so now what do we do to bring Mike Jackson down after bringing us a great beer?
I'm gonna let him ride. That's how much I liked that beer.
All right. Well, you win this.
I wonder
round,
where you
Mike.
picked it up from. Is this
I've seen it
local?
all over town.
Have
yeah.
you?
Oh, so this is an easily gettable beer?
There's a place in Twin Hickory, which I think I mentioned it to him, and I don't remember if he said he got it at that place or not. But right there, Food Line, it's like Das Wink or something like that. It's a German name, and it's a great craft beer store. It's where I've picked it up before. But yeah, I've definitely seen this around town. Kroger,
Nice.
even I think.
I'm definitely keeping that on hand.
Yeah.
Like when someone comes over who's a hophead, and I have to, they're like, "Oh, and a real IPA," because they're everywhere.
Yep.
Basic people are everywhere. In fact, A to Z driving school, full of basic people. But yeah, I mean that's the good one to keep on hand. So when a hophead comes over, you can be like, "Try this. It's got all that hop you want, but it's not going to be overpowering."
So since we're talking Mike Jackson, are we going to talk about M4K and about our successful ITPH team party we had yesterday?
Yeah, I think we'll start. I want to start with the fact that anyone who's hearing this podcast right now, if you're hearing it on the day it comes out, which is
We're getting ready to go to the Stash Bash.
presumably
See
Friday,
you tonight.
Yeah.
everybody out there who's donated, supported us through this whole thing, please know that the Stash Bash is not just for people growing mustaches. It's for everybody. It's for those that are our friends.
I have
It's for
donors,
those
used to be neighbors, Matt and Laura. They come out every year.
Yeah, and I've told this before, but I mean, for the first 5 years, 6 years, I was
that's
involved
how
in this.
that's how we both got involved in it.
I was literally donating to people's mustaches because I felt weird going to the Stash Bash without doing it.
Yeah.
But that was like my gateway.
That was
to
your
this.
in, yeah.
It was not a philanthropic effort when I
Yeah.
started. It was man, those are some really cool guys. I'd like to go drink some beers with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to donate a bunch of money and go there. And then after I went there that first time, I was like, wait a minute. It's like a really good cause. And then it just kind of started growing
You dragged me to my first one.
because it was fun.
Yeah.
It was before we were growing.
Yep.
It's just a lot of fun. So I do think that if anybody out there has donated or you've been supporting the podcast and you just want to come out, the Stash Bash on Friday, which it would be this Friday, so that's going to be December 3rd. So
Yep.
this is going to come out on the 3rd. So you'd have to be kind of a hardcore, like, ooh, the podcast is
Yeah.
out, and like, listen for you to get the invite. But
6 o'clock.
it's tonight. Is it at 6 o'clock?
Pretty
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
That's what.
Triple Crossing, Fulton Hill.
Fulton.
Not Fulton Hill.
Fulton. Triple Crossing.
Fulton.
Yeah, just Fulton.
Yeah,
You know which one I'm
Is
talking
it- I know.
about.
it's the one. Go all the way downtown and then kind of
going.
leave downtown.
Yeah.
Go past Poe's Pub.
It's the big one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's down. It's east part.
And we've done it there many years, and they're great hosts.
Yeah, this will be our third year. We obviously missed last year
There'll be a
being able
band?
to do it in person. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got a band coming. The band looks awesome. They do a lot of covers. We've asked
Yeah.
them specifically for some Beastie Boy covers, which would be nice.
As long as they don't do originals.
Mm.
Unless it's Pearl Jam. Sweet.
But yeah,
Pearl
it's-
Jam
I'm
original.
looking forward to it, for us to be able to get back to being
Yes.
in person. That's honestly something that it's the pinnacle of the month. It's what everybody looks forward to. It's a real true celebration of everybody's efforts and hard
Yep.
work over the month. It's a celebration of our donors, our friends, our families, everybody that's participated in however they have.
Celebration of no more wearing a mustache.
You're not gonna keep it?
I'm going to grow the beard around it again, and then
Okay.
we'll see where I
Yeah.
go with it. I like the concept of growing the beard around it. My wife thinks that's really stupid. But it's like I'm 2 weeks away from it being gone. And 1 week after that, it's already kind of gone because you
Yeah.
have just enough scruff. But, yeah, it's like I get it's not the best look, but I like keeping that mustache growing, at least for a couple months, because a beard with just a little
yeah.
little twirl on the mustache. Now that is a strong beard, said the hipster in me. My mouth doesn't reek of hops for nothing.
I have to agree with you.
It's
And,
actually a good look.
So yesterday we had our team party. We had, I don't know, we probably had most of the team here.
Yeah,
Definitely not all of it, but we have 19 team members, and as of Monday, right now, we're sitting at right under $29,000. We're like
Oh, no.
kicking
For our
over.
team.
We're over 29. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
just
right
under
under 30.
We're 200 short of 30, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday we raised money in the most grown-up possible ways, and I was excited to
Most
see it.
civilized ways there possibly could be.
I never seen such a bunch of
Degenerates is the word you're looking for.
degenerate philanthropists.
Yeah.
There was somebody egging everybody on saying, it's for the kids. It's
I
for
mean,
the kids.
I think both of those people are on this side of the block.
Yeah.
It literally turned into, so when the party started, it was really just focused on, hey guys, thanks so much for coming out. Your mustaches look great. This
and
is
meet and greet
awesome.
because not everybody knew
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, not
Let's get
everybody knew
everyone to
everybody.
know each
Football
other.
on TV, grab a beer.
We're watching games.
some
There's
pizza.
here. Like, let's just hang out. And I don't know. It took 2 beers.
I know exactly when it flipped. It was when all of those 1 o'clock games turned into blowouts or just not good games to watch, and everybody had a couple beers in them and was like, all right, well, what can we do now?
What's happening,
Yeah.
what's happening at
and
4
so
o'clock?
for the people that got here before 1 o'clock, I was already kind of pushing the, hey, if you want to bet, I'm willing to bet people. It's for the kids. Like, you bet me $20, loser. You just donate to the winners page. There's no money changing hands here. It's all going to the kids. And people were like, you know what? That actually sounds kind of nice. Like gambling for the kids. Now, I'll tell you when it's not nice. I couldn't hit a game
That's why I bet against you.
since Thursday. I literally lost. I placed bets on all 3 games on Thanksgiving. I lost all 3 games on Thanksgiving. Actually,
Did anybody win the
Parlay?
late clock 4 parlay?
I stopped looking.
I got to see if I won. I might have won. I don't
Please
know.
help yourself.
Probably
All
not.
you have to do to lose is just have anything I bet on.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the kiss of death. I was a nightmare.
Well, I see there's a Zen can over there that has a heads and a tails written on it, so it looks like we got into just flipping.
for it.
Literally
Oh.
just flipping. We were doing feats of strength out here.
Yeah,
We're
what
like-
feats of strengths were done?
Well, so like the Duke and I were like literally just throwing balls at trees, and if you missed the tree, that was $5. And like we would keep going back and
We
forth.
did a chug
back and forth.
contest.
Chug contest. I had a foot race
You
that
did
I
a
did.
foot race.
We had the jumping again.
Yes, there was high jumps trying to touch things that people. Everyone.
That's right.
Just side bets for the kids all day, and it was like one crazy thing after another. My wife was like, "You guys are getting a little loud, dude." I had a bullwhip. I haven't seen my bullwhip in a
That was
year and a
pretty
half.
funny.
Yeah.
That was
And
funny.
a dude shows up here.
The White Knight.
The White Knight shows up literally because he found out all the mustaches were here, and he's just walking around handing
Handing
out
out
money,
20.
Yeah.
which was great. He's like for the kids, for the kids, for the kids, and he's
Missed
like,
that.
oh, Brendan, I brought that bullwhip I borrowed a year and a half ago, and I was like, the bullwhip. Next thing I know,
next 30 minutes. Just
Yeah. Wait, Indiana Jones
we're out there
Jr.
betting.
out here.
Can he make it pop 4 times in a row? Let's go. And
Oh,
like
yeah, I remember
money
that. Yeah,
starts
that was-
changing hands.
What's funny is if you actually look at the reporting spreadsheets on M4K, there's this all of a sudden there's this flurry of 20s.
Yeah.
It just goes. Boo, 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 boo. It's
And
like
random comment. I don't know how
I just
many
had
times.
pockets of cash, and I didn't even know like what I walked in with and what I was gifted and what I won off bets. It was just like crazy.
I can go back now and see because all of mine say for the kids, and then it's like go Ravens, for the kids, go Bucks. But it's all the teams I didn't bet on. I was like, congratulations on your win. Is basically, what I was saying. But it's like it's just a hodgepodge of NFL teams and $20 donations and people's. I'm not mad.
We had a
Not
good
bad.
time.
We did. We had a really good time. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I woke up dumber
Yes.
for it. That much is certain. I lost a chug off to Troy. I got to admit, Troy, that was unexpected.
I was
was a
surprised.
shocker. That
I was
was-
surprised.
I think that took everybody by surprise.
Yeah.
It took
you did
everybody
have-
who bet on me by surprise. I know that.
You also had a surprise victory, though, in a tree race.
Yeah.
I still feel a little guilt about that race, but I definitely won it. It was a race across the yard. Then you have to touch the tree, and then you have to run back,
You and the Duke.
which was really poorly thought out because we had 2 massive fire pits just rolling.
No, we thought about it. So I stood directly.
I said
in
you have to
front of
stand
the-
in
Yeah.
front of the
So
fire
you
pit.
run on either side of it.
But then I didn't realize that there'd be a crowd of people back
Yeah,
here.
There's no stopping distance.
There's no stopping. Like I got here. Well,
And the fact that you had to touch a massive tree. Like, that was, like, dangerous in and of itself. Like, not go around the tree, but, like, touch the tree and then immediately go in the opposite direction.
but I felt I feel bad. I still feel bad, and I'll admit it publicly. Like we were racing down. He got a much better start than me.
much better start.
I think it's that may have had something to do with reflexes.
Slowing down.
So
Or lack thereof.
I took off after he took off, and we're running. And then right before we got to the tree, I don't know if I swerved into him or he swerved into me, but there's no doubt that my elbow extended, and I kind of nudged him.
As your driving school partner would say, rubbing is racing.
And as far as the Duke is concerned, because afterwards I was like I feel bad. I think I kind of pushed you down there, and it wasn't like a premeditated.
It wasn't out of
push.
malice.
It just like he was close, and like my competitive juices were like, "How about a fuck you?"
You were basically the offensive coordinator standing on the sideline where, like, your foot just slides out. Like, you didn't mean to do it. It just reflectively went out.
That's a little more egregious, I think. But I felt bad. Like even when we got back, I was like, I kind of bumped you down there, and the Duke's response was like, I can't believe you won. So like he's not making excuses, and so maybe it wasn't as bad. But I just wish I wish no contact had been made because
You wanted a clean, fair race.
because I made a hell of a comeback. Like he smoked me off the line, he smoked me to the tree. Like he was going the other way, and I was touching the tree, and I was like, oh, this is not going to end well. And then I just blacked out, and next thing I know, I'm smacking the abacus's hand first, and I was like, that's jets right there. But those jets almost cost me everything because I was still going. People were diving out of the way, and
You,
I
like,
came
launched into
I
the-
came
Nobody's gonna
careening in.
Nobody wants to catch you.
I came running in. I hit the bar. I was like, yeah.
Everyone inside's like, what the hell are you doing?
Is that why you didn't protest my chugging win once you realized I'd spilled some?
I mean, look, the chugging win.
Spills happen.
Yeah,
I think
spills
it,
happen.
It was so
if
funny,
it
though.
pours, like if I'm
Yeah.
seeing it pour, I'm gonna call you on it.
Yeah.
If it's coming around your face a little bit, right where the mustache is.
Yeah. You don't
Kinda
get a good
dribbles.
seal with the mustache.
Right. I was just getting ready to say that. You can't
So,
get a
I mean,
seal
I
on anything
can't-
with a mustache.
I can't but be so mad. Now, somebody had made a comment that if there's any on your shirt, it doesn't count. So I was being extra
Yeah, and that's
cautious, but it's not an excuse. I mean, I lost. You had a better start. You had a technique.
I did.
You went down.
Yeah.
Your head, because we were keeping the beer on the bar, and you put your lips
Right before they said start, I squatted so I was
Yeah, you
level
moved,
with the.
you moved your head down. I was so confident that when I saw you do that, I was like,
I don't need that 6 inches.
quarter seconds don't matter, bitch. Guess what? Quarter second. That mattered a lot in the end. But no, look, you got me fair and square. You beat me.
First
so-
time for everything.
Yeah, and we were even discussing it before, and you were like, "No, I think I can win." You
You were
said
like 2 out of 10.
Yeah, he goes 8 out of 10 times I'll lose.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that ratio sounds right. For the record, 1 out of 1 you'll win.
Well, we tried to get y'all to run it back though and do it again. And I
Yeah.
think you did.
I
he did
did.
for no
Chugging it
reason.
along.
He just picked it up and chugged it. Somewhere in there took a shot of Malort, and then Troy's like,
After that, it got a little hazy. I don't know why.
Joe was like, "What planet are we on?" I forget.
I'm certain it did. And when you turned to me and you were like, should I get a ride home? I was like,
Yeah.
my wife's
Let's just
been
think about
yelling at
this.
me for 3 hours.
She
And you were like,
called several times while we were.
several times.
There was right before the
She was
chugging,
calling you?
yes.
It was loud in here because everyone was shouting rules and money on
Oh,
who's got
yeah.
this and that. And I mean, it
Well,
got
when we did the
loud,
chug
loud.
off, like, everyone was in
Yes.
here. Everyone had their phones out. It was like, I mean, money was flying left and right. Like, I was like, this is weird. Like, I was feeling, I hadn't felt pressure in playing any games like that since I would, like, played in competitive baseball or softball or volleyball. Like, that was weird.
Well,
And it's one of those scenes that will keep everybody from running for political office.
not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you see what our politicians do
Yeah,
get away with
exactly.
now?
A new road has been paved,
Yeah.
Stu.
Yeah, he's an angel right
And
now.
I'm,
He's
Yeah.
good.
and I'm riding that road.
Might get some extra votes.
And I'm riding it at the speed limit,
Yes.
Of course.
mind you.
Yeah, yeah.
With my headlights on at all times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
So
matter.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't need daytime running lights to know to turn on my headlights. That's all.
I have started doing that more often.
Oh, AAA recommends it.
Yeah.
Who sponsored our test?
Have you
Their
already?
claws and everything?
So, in case anybody wants to watch a horrible way to stoke a fire, Brendan yesterday
Oh.
decides to just take a full log, fire in the solo stove's doing just fine, kind of just fine. And he just
Could've
takes
been
a
better.
log, puts it vertical, and just shoves it straight down into it. Blows
Kind of
up a
through
vol-
it.
Yeah.
You know what that does?
Throws
it creates
volcano.
a catapult.
Yeah,
If
I
you
was
have
gonna
a
say I
log
saw the
over
catapult
the-
action.
Yeah.
And it just fired all the embers up.
I mean, just picture a seesaw basically. One end's
Yep.
up and he just
One
stomped
end's
on
on
the
fire.
Everybody kind of like steps back a second, and then Brendan looks down and says, "Huh,
Oh,
my shoes are on fire."
yeah. And I definitely that morning I woke up and I was like, now here's my drinking shoes.
Yep.
These shoes have been to hell and back. And I thought, no, I'm going to wear the shoes that I literally only wear on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Christmas,
shoes.
when I go out. And I'm like, I'm going to wear my nice shoes because today's an important day.
Yeah.
Got to look good for the crowds.
Yeah, burn a hole right in my shoe. So now these shoes are now officially like the poop
The
scooping
yard
shoes.
shoes.
Yep.
But they're not going to hold up against anything. They're Hey Dudes, and they're going to burn up like crazy.
I'm so devastated. I'm so devastated. I was on Hey Dude last night. They don't sell these anymore.
Oh no.
What?
Oh.
These shoes, this is the last year model. They don't make them anymore. So that's cool.
It's because they were so popular. Probably they just wanted.
Well, I bought a pair today of Hey Dudes that are suede because nothing repels fire and dirt like suede. You can't even get those wet. And I was like, I've
Yeah.
been so good with these.
Yeah.
Surely nothing will go wrong.
Got some nice suede shoes to replace my other shoes. Always thinking for the kids.
So, speaking of fire and solo stoves,
Okay.
it was supposed to be a surprise, but the delivery guy just delivered it to the front door and didn't call ahead of time.
Oh, did you get a solo stove?
Got a solo stove.
For a fact, those things come completely unwrapped in a giant box with a picture of a solo stove on it, and it ruins many a Christmas.
and my girlfriend was like, I ordered that like yesterday. Why is it here already? Why didn't I get notification delivery, all this other stuff? And I'm like, there's a solo stove in the front. And she's like,
And
damn it.
I got
Everything they sell comes like that.
I got an early Christmas gift like that a month ago when my double-decker wagon, collapsible wagon for baseball showed up.
Oh, really?
Just huge
Big old
sticker on
box.
it. Like, and then like you order like, you know, a small battery from Amazon, and it comes in a box that like
Yeah.
an infant could fit in inside of another box that a large
Yeah.
child could fit in.
Now, anything solo stove comes with a very clear picture, high quality picture on the outside of exactly. And I'm talking even their little tools.
You would think.
Because last year I got some tools and they showed up, and I was like, "Oh, cool! A poker and a grabber, and oh
Nice.
man, this is great!" And I just brought it in and just stuck it next to the tree. My wife came in and was like, "Oh, you're kidding me!" I was like, wait, there's no denying what that is.
You're like, I'm still gonna love it.
Yeah, I was still psyched.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Saw me rocking that poker
I was
yesterday.
I
burning
don't even
up.
have to wait till Christmas to use this.
Did you get the medium-sized one
No,
or the large one?
It's the largest one they got.
The Yukon.
Brendan told you not to get that one.
Yeah, but
She must
yesterday,
not
when
listen.
yesterday when I was standing out here looking at the big one and the little one, I was like, big one's better. It's amazing. It's all situational.
Yeah.
It's all situational. You need to put something in your car. The medium size is the best.
People love burning your wood up yesterday.
Dude, how much wood? There's like 3 pieces of wood over there.
We went through so much wood in that solar stove.
Every time I walked by it, I would check it, and if it honestly needed something, I'd put something in.
Once people had like 4 beers in them, it never
Everybody.
needed
Yeah.
any.
I
It
know.
always
And
needed
then-
2
it'd be
less
a-
logs than was in it.
It'd be full to the top.
At whatever 6:30 or 7, when everybody was getting ready to leave, somebody was still putting things in there, and I was
There's
like, "That's
another-
gonna
there's
burn
another 2
forever."
hours.
Like, what are you doing?
Another 2 hours of fun.
I sat out here till 10 o'clock last night with a roaring fire. Just by myself.
Yeah.
Drinking Topo Chicos. Like, shouldn't be drinking anymore. So just drinking
Smart.
drinking seltzer waters. But then every once in a while, one more log won't hurt.
One
So
more.
I was guilty of it.
Threw down the rookie challenge to all of our rookie growers. Whoever raises the most money this last week gets a free bottle of our #1 bourbon, 4 Roses single barrel.
Not the Malort bourbon.
Not the Malort, which we tried last
Yeah,
week.
it wasn't that bad.
And it
yeah,
wasn't bad.
Yeah, surprisingly.
What'd you find there? Tommy Pumpkin?
Yeah,
Oh,
tis the
nice.
season.
Going in.
Yeah, so
I
I'm excited. Our rookies have done well this year.
Yeah. Everybody's
You know,
done
we
well.
talked about it briefly, but of
Everybody but Ely.
he's not a rookie anymore. He
Shots
should know
fired.
better. Of our 19, I think we've got, was it 14?
14.
I'm not
Granders
even
14
raise
definite
my
granders.
feelings right now.
Yeah, 14 definite granders. We're hoping to get that number up.
Is there anybody
both
still
time
short of their
Friday.
goal? Because I feel like if we
Oh,
meet, if everybody meets their goal, it'll be even.
Yeah, we
numbers
actually have
get-
less people who have met their goal than granders.
Yeah.
And some people have goals of 2,500, 3,000.
Right, right.
things
Yeah.
Like that,
I don't think
so-
I'm going to hit my goal, but I'm grander.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
I'm
The
are-
challenge I laid down was I wanted everyone to become a grander. That was the main goal, because if we all did that, obviously some people would earn
That's
more,
always
and
the goal.
we would hit 20K, which was to me a big goal. But we're
very
going to
lofty
be
goal.
30, so we're going to go above and beyond. And again, that's to all of our listeners and people
Yeah,
who donate.
Definitely.
Now, the caveat, I throw it out on Facebook and I'll throw it out here. Most of us donate hundreds of dollars to this too, so do not feel like we're only growing mustaches. We're paying out of pocket big money for this.
Yeah.
Oh, if
don't-
you look at my transactions, I can't
Yeah.
wait for my taxes. I'm psyched about doing
Yeah.
my taxes because I have clearly documented over
11
500
grand I gave to.
Yeah.
I have about I would say after yesterday I'm over 550.
Yeah. It was like,
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not proud of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
we're definitely not out here just shilling for this stuff.
No.
Everybody puts in the work for this. And
No,
that's,
Puts in the work and puts in the cash.
Unfortunately. And then you do things like yesterday where you just can't win anything but a foot race. Like I had to
think
literally
that's literally
reduce
the-
it to
well-
like go fish.
yeah, that's the only thing you won yesterday.
Yep. Oh,
'Cause y'all
apparently I must have won something else because I have 2 $20 donations from the Duke, which means the only person that I beat was the Duke, and everyone else who bet me won. I couldn't even out chug. I was like, it was nightmarish day.
Yeah.
And running is one of those things you can't do 2 out of 3.
Dude, I was like, I can't believe
That
I won
jumping
this.
contest you guys had, you had 3 chances to touch it, and it took you to the 3rd chance.
Didn't take
if I
me.
remember correctly.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't do it. Who
you
was
sat
it?
out.
Who was it?
BT.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Because
who
I
it was.
stepped up there and did
You
a
did
nice,
it.
easy jump the first time to see if I needed to actually try, and I was like, all right, I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
And then so tapped it on the second one pretty easily, but. But I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, I should have like really built up the excitement a little bit and come down after the second one and be like, oh man,
Oh
guys,
man, yeah.
this is hard. Throw your money in. Your boy can't get it, and then
Yeah.
just get it on that third one.
Yeah,
knew
I
that
got
was
it. I got a text from him last night. I saw it this morning. I was like, "Pay me my $20." So I texted him and I was like, "Are we good? Do I owe you?" He's like, "Oh yeah, you paid up." I was like, "Whew."
Don't worry about him. I bet $50 on the Browns last night against him.
Oh,
for the
no.
kids. Guess what? The
Browns
Browns
did
are
not
not
win.
very good.
"Yeah, I
didn't
picked Baltimore."
Didn't cover 4.5, thanks to a last-second field goal by Justin Tucker. Boy, howdy, good times. for the kids.
For the kids.
all
And
for
that was literally the mantra all day yesterday. Well, for the kids.
Yeah.
Which does make it feel better as
It
money's
does.
flying out of your pocket.
It
It's
does.
for the kids. There is something about the camaraderie, though, of like a bunch of growers hanging out because you all have the same goal
Yeah.
in mind, which is just raise money for the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a guy over here yesterday offering up rides in a new Corvette.
Yeah.
Like, you can go drive it. And I was like, psst, these guys are drinking. Don't
Yeah.
do this. Bad idea. You should go to A to Z driving school.
Well, he offered it up first, like he was just going to do it, and then we were like, do it for donations. He's like, oh, yeah, that's a better idea.
Much better idea. No, but that's the kind of day it
Yeah.
was. Like, everything was on the table. Some things got on the table that we actually had to squash, and they will remain undiscussed.
Yeah.
But like those would come up and be like, hey, wait, I think we just found the line. We're not going to do those tests.
Well, when Lee gets back over the mic, I want him to talk because we both got to tour the new children's hospital last week and see our M4K performance art space.
Yeah, I know Lee got to go there because he came back and he was like, yeah, talk to them, and they confirmed that pipes are only about 8 feet off the ground. I was like, you are absolutely lying. Like, he was lying, but I didn't. At first, I was like, wait, why would this even come up?
Yeah, the guy just brought it up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
it's kind of
was just
weird.
Like, yeah, so we made sure that all the pipes are a certain height.
But the facility looked good.
yeah,
It's
very much under construction right now, but we did get to see the space that M4K is sponsoring.
And some renderings.
Yeah, we got to see kind of final look at what that's going to look like, and being able to get to stand in that room. And granted, it's just concrete slab, not even drywall in some of the spaces yet. But
That's awesome, though.
yeah, getting to stand there and then
yeah, I mean, it was a
really
hard
good
hat
vision.
tour. Like, we
Yeah.
were invested in glasses and hard hats and
That's pretty cool.
safety shoes and all that. Yeah,
Mustaches.
mustaches looking all dope.
Yeah. The construction manager came down and was like, damn, you guys look good.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I turned around at one point yesterday and I scanned this place and I was like, that's like 15 mustaches.
Yeah.
in one room. Like
Yeah.
there was a guy in here with just a beard. He was the weirdo.
Yeah. He stood out.
He was.
He did. He stood out like crazy. I was like, ew.
It didn't
And-
help that we kept
and
taking a
the-
seat with.
And the White Knight stood out.
Clean
Yeah,
shaven.
but he was cool because he just kept. Actually, you know what? Both of the guys here who didn't have mustaches came in here and were
Donating,
dropping donations on
Get a
people.
dollar
So,
from either of them.
well,
I don't know them nearly as well as y'all do, though.
we'll get you there. We'll get you
They
there.
were very generous.
Yeah.
I think in the grand scheme, they absolutely were.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't
Yeah.
like they were hitting one dude with $20. It was like, here's 20, here's 20,
Yeah.
here's 20. That adds up. Take it from a guy who knows. That does add up over time.
But to go back to George's point, going to do that tour stuff was really cool. It's a great opportunity to see
Very
where this
cool.
money goes to. There's a lot of different organizations that we work with, and Children's Hospital does a great job. Ask what we got to do with them, have the snack stash
Yeah.
in their kitchen and their renovations. That was cool as heck. Being able to provide meals through Feed More, mental wellness through Cameron K. Gallagher Foundation, shelter through Friends of the Homeless. I mean, there's so many different opportunities that we work with, and seeing some of those things in person is really reaffirms why we do this.
Well, and it's just a great example of, like, the big money, the big checks we write. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's always surprised when I tell them how much we've raised, and, people are like, they just think it's a bunch of guys raising a couple $100. It's
Yeah.
like, no, this is serious money, and we do serious things with it. It's really cool to be a small part of that and get to see it and see it unfold. And even if you didn't get to go on that tour, like, when that opens in a year and a half, like, you'll be able to walk through that. It's a public space, and you'll be able to see,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to say, look, this is what,
See that impact.
yeah, this is what so this performance space is awesome. It's couldn't have a stage, and they're going to use it for all sorts of different plays and music acts for the kids. And then what I think is really cool is they have live audio and video feeds to all the rooms for the kids that aren't capable of going down to the performance space. So it'll be for
That's so
all.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not cutting corners. Like, they're doing it upright.
I do want to say though that don't let those kind of big dollars intimidate you when you're donating, because it's not someone's showing up and dropping $1,000
No.
on us that's doing this.
This is a cumulative.
It
grassroots
literally
effort.
is $20, $25, $50.
Most all of my donations are definitely under $50. Like
Yeah.
it's
I had a friend hit me up today because he hears about all the big things we're doing. He's like, "I'm so sorry, I only gave you $50," and I was like,
that's a
"That's
great
a big donation,
Yeah.
like in my little world."
Yeah.
Anybody's.
Yeah, like that's a good thing. I was like, man, no, don't think like that. Like, thank you so much. So I do want people, as they hear these big dollars, those big dollars occur because there's so many people who are donating $20, $25. It builds up over time.
Yeah.
If you want to come off $250, that's fine.
But
Yeah.
then again, I give a shout out to the guys actually growing for pushing it, because there's only 161 of us that are actually participating in this, and
when
we
they each
enjoy
get 25 donations,
of 25
really
bucks
adds up.
it starts going. And so shout out to all the guys growing, because without them, obviously we couldn't get to where we need to be, and it's fun.
Yeah, the way I always try and frame it too, and it has a great breakdown on the m4krichmond.org website. If you haven't seen it, under the charity section, it says, how far does your money go? Feed More tells us that for $1 they can provide 4 meals. So your $25 donation and you're feeding 100 people, like that's
a big deal.
incredible. Like that's the impact that helps people kind of realize and translate what this is. So
when you give that $25 and all $25 are going, and you can say, I just helped 100 people get fed. That 100 meals, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want people to get intimidated by the big dollars. No, it's many of you that are creating this situation.
Well, I'm
and
going to work a
we
little
couldn't do it
harder,
without
because I
you.
just want to beat you, Brendan, so you can keep this losing streak going.
I honestly don't think I'm going to pick up this winning streak. Well, we'll see tonight if the Washington R words pull this one out. Then maybe I'll get to fix the glitch.
Yeah.
No, I
probably cursed them though by putting the money on them.
we talked about it yesterday, and I'll say it publicly. Like it never, every year surprises me who I get donations from and who I don't get donations from. Some of my closest friends haven't donated, but then I'll get
you said your parents' neighbor.
Yeah, my neighbor's parents gave me a donation, and like I know them for years, but only through baseball and only during the summer months. But they're great people, and they see what we do, and they're just happy to help out. And those mean as much to me as a big ticket.
I got a cousin, and he his daughter is getting married this weekend. I know his mind is so far from dealing with the crap that keeps. I'm showing up every week. He's on my email list, and he hit me up with the donation today, and I was just like, "That's fantastic!" Like, this dude lives in Florida. He's not going to see the impact directly, but he knows that
it's
what
not
we're doing is a
impacting
good
his
thing.
community.
And I know that he right now has a lot of money coming out of his pocket.
Yeah.
And for him to even do that, so shout out to Steve and Lynette. Like,
it's like our
thank you
brother
guys so
Flores, who's living in California, and
Yeah.
he breaks off money for a lot of us, and
Yep.
I've always felt really
much.
special, because I don't know him as well as you guys do, but he sees what we're doing, and he definitely
Well, he's
takes it into
good.
consideration.
Recognizes good. He's
Yeah.
a good man right there.
He
to
is.
say the least. So, I think that's what you think you're getting the byproduct of that. He's good.
Yeah.
He knows good. He is good. So he's like, I want to help. It's pretty cool. It's
awesome.
pretty cool. We're definitely. I'm proud of the team this year. I'm proud of what we've done. I'm proud of the whole M4K organization.
Yep.
But on the micro level, we get to see our team all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes more than I'd like to.
But
Yesterday
Any
was
situations
rough.
you didn't want
Yeah.
to see him in.
I'm already excited for next season. I want our team to grow and to do bigger, better things.
Desperately excited for December.
yeah.
But this is me. I'm always kind of the curmudgeon on this. I get excited in the moment, and now I'm really excited about Stash Bash. But like, once it's done, I'm like, hell yeah, 11 months, 11 months. Whereas you get excited. I know you get excited.
I'm
I think
jacked up
Sue,
for it all
you're
year.
probably
Yeah.
you're probably closer to me, right? Like, you
I'm-
enjoy the 11 months without the stash.
I can go either way, but yeah, I'm definitely not going to wear a stash on my own.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I have the convenience, probably just like Troy or any of us here, that in 2 seconds you can grow the mustache and help out. Yours just can't be seen. You can grow it. You just can't see it.
Another shot across the bow. It's not my week. It's not my week. My mustache is definitely the weakest in the room. But I'm
That's
still
just a
kicking.
color thing. Like
It's
you have
just-
a full mustache.
Yeah, it's just not cool.
Yeah, it's just older than your face.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. At least they're not like, well, your mustache looks young.
Yeah.
The rest of you's awfully old.
We know some growers that
Well, there's some-
can grow all year long and still not have a full mustache.
Unrelated note, shout out to Jay.
Completely unrelated. Yeah.
Totally unrelated.
Yeah.
Just
Has nothing
we
to
saw
do with
him here
anything.
Yeah,
yesterday.
he was here
But he was
donating.
here.
we were rushing him
There's
hard
some-
yesterday.
He said it when he walked up, but this has been his best mustache year by far.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's done differently. I don't know what he's sprinkling in his food that he's cooking at the house with me, but it's
I don't know, but it's true because I
Coming in
remember
strong.
seeing him like 2 weeks in, and I was like, I got to be honest, buddy.
I can
like,
see something.
Yeah.
I see a mustache there. And then last time I remember he went like, it was a couple years ago. He went a whole year, and then he just like didn't shave, and
Yeah,
everyone
he shaved
was
the rest of the stuff
yeah,
off.
Yeah.
and everybody was like, "Oh, it's coming in, it's
Yeah.
coming." He was
He's
like,
"This is 14
literally
months."
been a year. He was still catching shit, but I think it looks good this year.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
all types of different stashes on the team, and definitely check out the team webpage. Find somebody who hasn't hit their goal.
Yes.
Give them a donation, and
For real.
see if we can all get everybody to where we need to be.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
just goals. Find granders.
Yeah.
I want granders.
I want all the granders. Find somebody that's a couple $100 away from being a grander and hit them up. And then put my name in there. Say, I was going to donate to Troy, but let's do it.
Yeah,
Or I was
the-
going to donate to Lee or Brendan or Stu.
The podcast sent me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want you to be a grander.
for real.
That's a lot of heavy breathing right there.
Let's go. Let's go to Stash Bash. Let's
Yeah, I was
wrap
gonna-
this up and
yeah, I
go to
was gonna
Stash
say
Bash.
one last thing for that. I mean, when y'all listen to this, we are going to be getting ready for Stash Bash. If you happen to listen to this Friday afternoon, you can still
Come
donate.
on down.
You can still join. You can
Yep.
still become a grower. You can still show up.
That's still one of the best stories.
Oh
2
my
years ago,
God,
that dude
yes.
joined the last day
yeah,
and raised
2019. Guy shows up, wins Rookie of the Year, raises $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on the last day, just on a whim.
Yeah.
And I mean that will be unmatched forever.
He's back
I
this
think.
year, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
he's-
good.
He's done it every year since.
Yeah,
Um,
can't duplicate those efforts though.
Yeah.
He had a pace of $7,000 a day,
a day. Yeah,
and he's completely fallen off.
yeah. He's slacking this year.
Yeah, we've been getting on him about that.
He should have been like a $200,000 grower.
Yeah.
you know? But no.
But no, seriously, if y'all are listening to this Friday afternoon, come on out, donate, take the time to do it, find somebody, m4krichmond.org. Just do a general donation. I don't care.
Yeah,
Really, we need all the
But
help.
come
we
on
can
down.
get.
It's a lot of fun, and
it's
I
a
think
fun time.
I think when you see the energy and the atmosphere, then you start to understand why it is
Mhm.
that we get so jazzed about being part of this. So I think this is a good it's a good kind of gateway
Yeah,
for you to check it out.
absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week, last week, every week. We certainly do appreciate the support. We couldn't do it without you, not just with the mustaches, but the podcast as well. If you haven't had a chance to Cincinnati swap somebody, there's a term you haven't heard in a while. Grab somebody's phone, sign them up for the podcast. I've been doing that a little more lately, so it's on the mind. It's been a lot of fun to see people not panicked when I touch their phone. I think that's a sign that maybe things are getting a little bit better.
He just stole my phone.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'll return it. And if you haven't had a chance to head over to, what should we even do? Should we be doing spots this month?
I mean, it's Christmas time. They can go buy some stuff.
That's true. That's true. Get yourself a mortgage.
Yeah,
Head over to Screen Door Mortgage. Ask
Really
for
want to
Jimmy.
spend some money.
He'll take care of you. No, there's a guy who supports M4K
yep.
on a heavy level.
Not me this year though.
Jimmy takes care of the crew.
Yes.
And the greater good, So head over to Screen Door Mortgage. If you hadn't had a chance to head over to Nectar Sunglasses, drop Bowflex in the coupon code. What was already a good deal will become an even better deal, and there's something to be said for that. This week, we're not going to be hawking our Venmo. You know why. We want you to head
For
over
the
to
kids.
m4krichmond.org, find the Inside the Pallet House team, donate to someone on the team, and say, this was their Venmo money.
Yeah.
We'll respect that. We're
Yep.
good with that. If you want to send us a topic, you can always do so at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com, or you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at ITPH Podcast, or you can always head on over to the Facebook page and engage with us, and Troy will respond.
That's right.
It's kind of how that
Sweet.
works. Maybe once a week I'll tune in and go, like. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking to you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's for the kids. Peace out.
m4krichmond.org.
That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?
That was a really good podcast, don't you think?
We didn't even soak at all.